Now, rode on many different buses because I went to many different schools, and I want to tell you about all the different buses I was on, in school. And it's gonna go from, light to dark. Okay, so there was this one. He was an 80-year-old. We were on a shorter bus because there was less people that need picked up. So technically, it was a short bus. As I don't know how to like. It's not a very kind stereotype, but that's what they call it. So that's what it is. And I had this one bus driver. He would be like, if you mention you're bored, you do not do that. You messed up, because he would be like, bored. I was never bored in my life. I don't know what being bored is. I always kept myself busy. I bet he had terrible parents that made him do chores and like three jobs at like age 14 or something. He was in his 80s, like I said. So yeah, it's probably their generation that make him work, work, and work, and work, and work. And his other thing was click it, because there was there was seatbelts on these types of buses, and he said click it, or because I don't want to have to do paperwork. It's like, wow, you care more about having to do paperwork than our own lives. Thanks. He was probably joking, I hope, but he never said he was joking. So but I bet he was. Hopefully. Anyway, from his hard knock family, I don't know if he is or not, but then I went on a similar shorter bus, and there's people worse off than me. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing and be politically incorrect, so I'm just gonna say they were worse off. I have autism, and I have learning disability. And during that time, I was taking so much medication, my head was so foggy, and I was drooling trying to get up for the morning. And it's like, I already felt like, I was um, kind of worse off like them. So I was like, yep, that's it. That's it. I'm done for. Like, this is me. This is who I am. And I was really insecure about that back then. So I was like, oh no. Oh no. you know, they're just regular human beings, and I wouldn't care nowadays if I had to ride with them. It's just that I was an insecure 15-year-old going through a lot already. I already felt, worse off. That's the key word. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So I was like, it just didn't help anything. It just was like, but they were dropped off at a different school. The bus driver was just going through and can drop me off at my school before that he drops them off at their school. So that's yeah. And the worst of the worst was public school buses. You probably will agree. Public school, oh boy. So let me explain my town, okay? There's people in town that had normal thoughts. Okay, they had social skills. Um, they're fine. This is just as a whole. There could be some racist, homophobic, sexist people that live in town too. Definitely is. So yeah, it gets worse. Let's just say that if you don't live in town, usually. And I'm not saying there's not nice people that live out in the country too. I'm just saying as a whole for all of this. And then there's tier two. Tier two is the ones on the outskirts that needed social skills. Some of them were fine. Some of them were racist, but some of them were fine. Just depending on it is. Then there was tier three, where you're far in the boonies. That means that you're either or a racist, or sexist, or homophobic. Throw those ones in there too. there's no going around it. You're either or a racist. So we were at tier 2. They're kind of in the country, but not the worst. So all these people kind of stayed to themselves, apparently, with me, because just a short story. I went to Catholic school, elementary, and then middle school. My mom drove me to school, and then I was picked up by a bus that went to her job, which was in a different location than where we lived. So I never rode with them. So I was like a new kid. But apparently I wasn't like a new kid, because a new kid actually joined the school, and everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. He was outgoing. He was just, and it hurt. It really did hurt being like ignored. And then all of a sudden this new kid comes around and he's like the hot. All of a sudden it just but hey, some of these anyway, they were bad influences. Of course there was snuff on the school bus. But anyway, that's not the big story. Here's the big story, okay? And I'm gonna give you some littler ones so you can chew this big story up, okay? So, they were annoying too on the bus. They would play out this music. It was either the song "Loser," I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Or it was something about kisses from Chance the Rapper. One of those two throughout the whole entire, it felt like the whole, at least through a semester, if not the whole entire school year, it was those two songs over and over and over. And one day they were not there, and I wanted to play out my music, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna play out my music. Is rap okay?" And then the girl in front of me said, "Oh no, hard R music." I'm like, okay, so she was blatantly racist. She was blatantly racist. Great. Yeah. Just digest that for a second. Well, meanwhile, like, I sat in one of their seats once, and one guy got really mad at me. He looked like he wanted to kick my ass. He said every sentence, so just imagine someone saying every sentence. It's just disgusting that it would ever try to do that. Like, what the and I just can't imagine if someone just said every sentence every second of the day. Holy that was him the whole entire day. That was just a little glimpse of it, and I'm probably have to cut that out because of YouTube. Oh, poor YouTube can't handle a little swear word. Anyway, so anyway, I'm all for free speech and everything, but it was just annoying every single sentence. Come on, like, use them for a purpose. You got to use the F-bombs for a purpose. And one day, the day that I stole a C, and I said, "It's just a C," and I used it with emphasis. That's how you say an F-bomb. That is how you it takes away the power if you say it every second, you know? So that's pretty much it. Just, yeah, maybe it was best I didn't hang out with them. There was one kid that was actually nice to me, and we were good friends, and he was the only one that let me sit with him. So, yeah, I was like the only one that let me sit with him. I let him sit with me. I just want to say there was two brothers, and I think at least one of them was open to sit with me. The other one would have been, I'm sure, but it just never worked out that way. It was sitting with somebody else. And the second one gave me a little Wayne CD. Okay, so there were more than one nice people. Like, everyone was nice enough. It just, it's just that no one talked to me or hung out with me, which sucked. So I'm going to be bitter and resentment full of that. So it wasn't all that bad. It's just what it just hurt more than anything. So anyway, so moral of the story is I don't get humans, and I'm glad I don't have to ride with a bunch of them anymore by force, by the state. So if you're going through that right now, I salute you. If you went through it, you already know. And leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you when you watch me again, metaphorically.